At the beginning, almost nobody notices you. Not because something is wrong with you, but because you haven't given the room a reason to look your way yet. You're simply part of the background, and that's an uncomfortable thing to realize. You try to join the conversation, and it politely moves on without you. It's not rejection exactly. It's something quieter than that. People aren't ignoring you on purpose. They just aren't scanning your frequency yet. You send a message and wait. And wait. When the reply finally comes, it's short, delayed, distracted. You start replaying the conversation, wondering what you did wrong. Most of the time, you didn't do anything wrong at all. Here's the part almost nobody explains clearly. This isn't about your worth as a person. It's about a signal, an invisible marker that tells people whether you're worth paying closer attention to. And right now, that signal simply hasn't been built yet. So you start building quietly. Steady effort, steady income, small, consistent choices that don't look impressive from the outside. Nobody claps for this stage. But underneath the surface, something is slowly beginning to shift. One day, a reply comes back faster than usual. It feels small, almost forgettable, but it's actually the first crack of light through a door that used to stay shut. Stability, it turns out, sends its own quiet signal. Suddenly, you're being pulled into conversations you used to stand outside of. People remember your name now. You haven't changed as a person, but something about how you're perceived clearly has. This is the moment most men misread completely. Being noticed and being chosen are not the same thing. One means you're on the list. The other means someone has decided to prioritize you. Confusing the two costs people years of their lives. As your foundation grows steadier, something else starts happening. People begin reaching out first. Small, but unmistakable. The direction of effort has quietly reversed itself, and you barely notice the moment it happened. Someone rearranges their schedule around yours without being asked. It feels almost strange at first, because for so long, you were the one adjusting for everyone else. Now the pattern is shifting in your favor. You cancel a plan, and instead of indifference, you see real disappointment on someone's face. Your time has started to carry weight it didn't carry before, even if nobody says that out loud. But alongside the shift, something else quietly appears. Expectations. Nicer places, thoughtful gestures, a certain standard of effort that nobody announces, but everyone somehow senses. It arrives without a conversation, and it settles in anyway. You start to feel a subtle pressure building around you. Invisible, but real. Nobody is demanding anything directly, yet somehow the bar has quietly risen, and you're the only one who seems to have noticed it moving. As your progress compounds further, the people around you start to change too. Different energy, more composed, more deliberate. These aren't better people necessarily. They're simply operating in a different environment than the one you used to move through. You start noticing the small details people track without saying anything. What you wear, how you speak, the way you handle a bill at dinner. None of it is said aloud, yet all of it is quietly being recorded. Someone new appears who agrees with everything you say, a little too easily, laughs a little too quickly, and never seems inconvenienced by anything you ask. On the surface, it feels wonderful. Underneath, something doesn't quite add up yet. This is where things get genuinely confusing, because genuine warmth and strategic warmth can look nearly identical from the outside. Both smile, both show up. Only one of them is real, and telling them apart takes more than instinct. So you run a simple, honest test. You create a small inconvenience, a canceled plan, a delay, a moment that costs the other person something. Then you simply watch closely how they respond, without judgment, just observation.
One person reacts with visible frustration, almost offended by the inconvenience itself. The other simply shrugs, unbothered, still present regardless. That single reaction tells you more than 100 conversations ever could. You start to understand something important here. It was never really about the money at all. It was about what the money quietly revealed in the people standing around you. Patterns that were always there, just harder to see before. As your foundation grows even stronger, something shifts inside you too. You stop flinching at small costs. You stop bracing for scarcity out of habit. That quiet ease is something people notice, even when you never mention a number.
People around you become more protective of your time, more intentional about including you, more visibly proud to stand beside you in a room. The dynamic has changed again, and this time, it runs deeper than before. Eventually, someone new appears who somehow already seems to know things about you before you've said a word. It feels flattering at first, like effortless connection. But effortless things are rarely as effortless as they appear. Instead of feeling flattered immediately, you watch carefully. You've learned by now that ease can be genuine or it can be rehearsed, and the only way to know the difference is patience, not assumption.
By this point, what you've built has grown far beyond where you started, not just in resources, but in the quiet confidence of someone who understands the game being played around him instead of being confused by it. You're surrounded now by polished, agreeable people, all warm, all pleasant, nearly indistinguishable from one another on the surface. It would be easy to stop looking closely here. The people who stop looking closely are usually the ones who get hurt. Then you notice someone standing quietly near the edge of the room, easy to overlook in a crowd like this. It's the same person who was there back at the very beginning, before any of this existed, before there was any reason to stay.
You walk past the noise, past the easy smiles and rehearsed warmth, toward the one presence that never needed convincing. Clarity, it turns out, gets easier to recognize the more of it you've had to earn. What you've built and who actually stayed are two completely different stories, and only one of them tells you anything true about the people around you. The money was never the real lesson. It was simply the lens that made everyone else visible. Build what you're building, let it grow, but keep your eyes open at every single stage along the way, because the version of you who sees clearly doesn't get fooled by warmth alone. He simply knows the difference, and that difference changes everything.